Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Beau Weekly. In this episode, 3 planning applications all land and approved. 7 sites completing in the next 3 weeks, basically. Plan's working, man, as if we do the equivalent on QuickBooks. I just want to understand why. Why are we delayed? If you don't know who we are and you're a new viewer, thank you. Make sure you subscribe. We're Beau Partners. We're a property development business based up in the northeast of the UK, scaling rapidly, and we show every week the inner workings of what it's like to run this kind of business. Subscribe, enjoy. Look at that, mate. Well, Harris fencing. Harris or Harras? Jeff always says it's not Harris, it's Harras, I think. There it is. We're starting to mark off our site so we can take this space for when we're chipping off all of that render, which is gonna be fun. Get our tower around, all this render come off, and we've got a nice protected fall area, which is decent. The strip out guys should have done quite a bit of damage in there in the last few days. So we're gonna have a look inside. Yeah, we're not gonna get in there, so we have to try and get it somewhere else. And turn down the lights. We're in, so we had to put all this mesh on, basically to appease the insurer. No real crazy protection with it, but it's just to make sure they don't have a fuss. But soon enough, we're gonna be ripping them out, pulling this down, like this is all happening over the course of the next week. And then we'll put in the new glazed units, but we're gonna put, I think, a perspex in there or re-put the mesh in there with a load of timber support so that it's stronger. And that should then stop the kids breaking in. But also not put the glass panes in case kids smash the glass panes throughout the course of the project. Oh, the bar is gone. There used to be a bar there. So they've got rid of that. They've got rid of quite a lot of the innards. They've got rid of all of the ceiling grids. That, I believe, is an asbestos fan. There's some other asbestos bits, so we're leaving for the asbestos boys. And the main AIB stuff's down this way, which we've not touched yet either. Screwdriver. Matt, so this is going to be our site welfare. This is the last apartment that's going to be done. We'll bring in all the infrastructure into the apartment, and then we'll just close it off and leave it and not do any of the second fix stuff until the scheme's finished and we work our way out the building, and then this will get tackled last. Well, yeah, we've got good enough ceiling heights here to just drop in a ceiling grid, because some of these steels were wrapped in AIB, but rather than pull them out and pay to get them removed, we can instead drop hangers in either side so we don't actually penetrate the AIB boards, and instead just penetrate the plasterboard either side, and then we enclose them and we'll get the tickets for the sign off. So what's happened is we've saved what was a £28,000 asbestos strip out, which was a complete surprise, and we brought it down to $4.5 grand so far, and I think we can actually get it cheaper because of being able to keep it in situ. And also the first Azzy guys, I think, we're just trying to pull a bit of a blinder on us. But you can see that there, wrapping that steel is AIB. So we need them to come in, clear up this bit, cut off that bit. We're just gonna drop ceiling grids either side of that and hanger both sides of the beam, meaning we don't need to remove, which saves us 24 grand. So in this way, again, just soft strip stuff. So almost everything off the walls now. We've got these ceiling grids and everything here to tackle, but they've taken quite a lot out of the middle here. There was a lot in this building, and that bar's next as well. And once they've got all the soft strip out on all of those bits, then we've got these things to tackle, which is, so that's boarding there. This whole section that you see is actually masonry. It's not supporting the roof, although you might think it is, it's actually not. We've had the structural engineers sign that off. Those beams run straight through and sit on the perimeter walls, but all of that stair core there needs to come out, and that goes down to the ground floor. So does that stair core in that corner. All of that's coming out. That one's trickier because on the floor below, one of the beams does sit on the masonry wall, so we have to do a whole temporary support, splice in a whole new beam to carry it to the perimeter wall, which is quite annoying. So get all the soft strip, all the out of the building, and then we'll tackle those structural works, level off our floors, level off everything else. So we've got a nice, clean space to work with, and then we're gonna dig out the basement. It's so much fun. We're back. We're gonna do a bit of a lettings meeting, update, check on where we are, and go through accounts because we have a deal. Who's gonna make us financially tip top, because Robbie was doing such a piss poor job at it for years. So now we had to bring in the proper guns.
Oh, Vicky did like that.
No, we're joking. Robbie and Adil are going to work together now on accounts because Robbie's working too much, basically. Too many accounts to keep on top of, things like that. So we need someone to come in so we can not only manage the accounts properly, but also get the reporting data we need, monthly management accounts, things like that, get the clarity, particularly for construction, because there's so many moving parts. Right now, we're going to talk about lettings, just lettings for now. And then we want the board we have on Monday, we want either that done every month, but what's actually going to be better is if we do the equivalent on QuickBooks, and then we start extracting monthly management accounts for lettings, which should be pretty straightforward. It's just having that religiously done each month now. And then we can start looking for some of the gains that me and him were talking about yesterday, seeing if there's other potential things we can do.
In terms of acquiring other agencies.
Well, things like that, but also there might just be things in our service model where there's room for improvement, or things like the guaranteed rent stuff and charge it 4%, cost us 2%. There's those sort of things we can potentially start offering clients. Think especially on the buy-to-lets. HMO is always going to be difficult.
Yeah, HMOs, that's why we've never done rent guarantee.
Yeah.
Because we can offer it a good lot.
Yeah. Yeah, as a chew, you've got 6 tenants and transient stays, whereas someone who's staying for 3 years, one reference, one person to verify. If so, it's 3 years of guaranteed rent and 2% gross to us, so makes a lot of sense to do it.
Any expenses that are property expenses that come out of the bank account, they're not a business expense, they're property expenses. But sometimes we've used the same people, take Keita cleaning the office or Clive repairing something on here. That is a business overhead. So there's a job to basically use the timesheets which we've got for each personnel and just separate out what was a business overhead.
Vicky will backdate it. You two are sorting construction anyway, and that's coming up to date. Next week we'll do a tie-in with Kirsty and Kat so they know exactly what responsibilities they've got. We'll talk about this after anyway. And then hopefully Dil can then move over to sorting the last bits on the QuickBooks side. Presto, done. We are at 6-bed HMO. This one is near completion. I'm doing the rounds today, doing the site rounds. It's healthy to do this every few weeks. I'll probably do it like once a month or every other month or so, just to keep an eye on progress and just quality of works and how we're getting on, what's being said from site managers compared to what's actually happening on site, because it's just good to actually see for yourself as well. But we are delayed on this site now for the handover, so I just want to understand why. Why are we delayed on this? Because it was going so well, this site, and it's pretty much near the back end. It's just these finicky, snaggy bits, but we did fire a few decorators. So we've got some boxing in to do, some second fix joinery stuff, trivial bits of decoration. What's that there? Decoration there, some second fix electrics. Oh, actually, might be all right with second fix electrics. Water running, some plaster work there. This door needs fixing up. Site yard removed, infill, drainage that's gone in. That actually needs connecting, it's actually not connected. Last knockings on this site. Flooring here, DB's in. Flooring, not sure what's going on here. Messy as well, plasterboard in there, boxing. Come with me, Sonny. Still needs sanding back as well. Toilet in here, plastering there, trimming. We did try some new guys on this site as well. It's always the way when you try new guys, expect to have some potential issues. Okay, a bit of joinery there. Wardrobes need to be finished off. Yeah, there's second fix electric still to sort out. Through here. Okay, so most of the furniture on site. Door to be hung, 2 doors to be hung. Actually, plumbing's all right, but we've not got the end panel on for some reason. Boxing in's all right, plasterwork there. No worries, mate. Yeah, so what I'm seeing is tiny bits of electrics need to be done, but really it's just second fix and making sure that all our sockets are pinned back properly and then be checking those sockets. There's a little bit of joinery to be done, but it's mostly decoration and the infill in the backyard. Screeding on the kitchen floor. Handrail needed. And then we need to get furniture in here. That's going to be interesting. Such a big room. We've got our trims on the shower, boards. So we need decorator, joiner, multi-skilled, and that should box this off. Albeit the electrics is actually signed off, it's just some of the plugs need to be sorted out and fixed back properly. Those ones might be all right there. Some of the ones downstairs that aren't great. It's not far. So decorator, joiner, multi-skilled, those 2 guys should be able to box off most of this. But yeah, we're a couple weeks out now from where we want to be handing this over. We need to address that. Look at our labour pool, look at our labour allocation and redistribute to make sure these are boxed off. But banging property. One of the best 6-bed HMOs we've done of this nature. Look at this room. This room's massive. All 3 rooms down there are good size. The 2 on the ground floor are banging size. Kitchen's a good size. Solid property, and we're literally 5-minute walk, if that, from the metro. Nice. Buongiorno. We are at the office and we are going into construction meeting of the week. We're going through looking at cost of completes and cash flows to end of the month. We finished a big wave of new projects, 7 sites completing in the next 3 weeks, basically. So we're just monitoring cash flows, monitoring the next job starting, going through all that fun stuff, as well as some of the system. Anyway, we do this every week, once a week, just to make sure we're on the pulse of movements in construction, mostly looking at cost of completes and capital and cash flows, and just what sites might need a bit more attention than others, depending on whether it's a resource or labour allocation issue, or whether it's a problem on sites, or delayed payments from clients, whatever they are, we go through all those to make sure we're all up to date. There they are in there. Look at him. Mate, he's gonna be a dad soon. That thing there is going to have a smaller one of him knocking around.
He looks stressed about it.
He does, look, he's crying. He's like, I'm going to be a daddy. I'm going to be a dad. I'm going to be a dad. Anyway, let's get going. Main thing that we want to know is our latest cost to complete.
You zoomed in on me eating something.
No.
Have a look at this banana bread.
Wow, you made that yourself?
Breakfast of champions.
I think the main thing is knowing the cost to complete. Yeah, the granularity will obviously be useful, but the main thing at the moment is knowing the jobs that we have to finish.
Update that because there's a couple more jobs to add on to it.
Can we isolate the concerning jobs, the jobs where we're like, oh, they're lagging, or the jobs that we don't want to necessarily prioritise with labour, but also we know we need to kill them off?
And this is what we've received to date.
We're back, Skeleton Crew, today. Couple announcements and changes that we're going to be making, and then we'll go through numbers. Also, don't know what was happening with the council yesterday, but we had 3 planning applications all land and approved. So it's approved now and was fully approved, which is great. So literally the last 2 we've got is road. That goes to the inspectorate's meeting me there 1st of April. And then as well, which I don't think many of you know about, but that's been a 2-year battle with the council, appeal back into planning, just a load of and we will find out in the next, that goes to committee next month. Always 2 planning applications together. Basically, there's a prior approval for the ground floor and first floor, and a separate one for the loft, and they all got approved yesterday. Good news, means these bigger schemes are starting to come to light. Obviously, we're on site with Buzzars. Place will be next. St Paul's is going through the rounds as well, and then we've got these ones. So as a development group, we're moving from HMOs up that pyramid that I explained about a year ago. We've got buy-to-lets at the bottom, HMOs, and then these commercial to resis. In the future, ideally, build to rents is where we want to go. New apartments, build up 50 of them, retain them. Plan's working, man. For now, go over to Sunny.
Yeah, so it's all pretty standard stuff. We've got just over 300,000 views this month on the Instagram, which is wonderful stuff. And we are just below the 12k follower mark now as well, which is also very, very nice. 33.2% of those views though are from the ads. So shout out Matthew. And just a point of interest, I don't know if this is worth mentioning, but I'm going to anyway. The majority of our followers recently in the last month are from London, which is always kind of expected. But the second most popular place that we are gaining followers from is Birmingham. Thought you should all know.
Is that right?
Yep, and then third is Liverpool. So the YouTube this month has got 68,000 views and we've gone up 218 subscribers, which again I think is pretty solid. 45,000 of those are unique viewers, which is again very, very nice. Then onto the TikTok, 90,000 views this month, which is down by 3%, which I know is minor, but does annoy me. So we'll try and get that back up next month.
Short month.
It's a short month indeed. But we do have 24,000 new viewers, which is up 240%. That is wonderful news. Wow. Across the board, we've actually done some pretty naughty numbers this week.
18 active sites. I believe one's been handed over now. By next Friday, we are going to hand over 7 sites, lettings. All of them are getting dressed next week. Literally, it is photos just to hang up, mirrors to hang up, door numbers, all that sort of fun stuff. The main thing is now we've got a price team on painting as well. That follows through a lot faster. It's 5 to 7 days they can complete a property in now.
Yes.
Back to you.
Hello. No, go on, what are you saying?
Cal's taking me out for a bit of birthday outing tomorrow. I'm not here terribly long.
It was Mum's birthday yesterday, 35.
Happy birthday, Lee.
Thank you, thank you.
She had me when she was 7. Weird.
God, that sounds weird.
Strange family dynamic. So we are done. We had a skeleton crew today, a lot of people on holiday, but good catch up on everything. Dave, you may know him as, is leaving us at the end of the month. Updated the guys as to why. Mostly personal things to him, he's trying to just figure out his life a bit more. And also for us, it's kind of ideal because we've got Sam and Sean who are coming in 2 months' time once they finish college, and they'll be full-time acquisitions. We've also got Graham here who can help with acquisitions. Mum's moving on to client liaison, relationship roles now anyway. So it's a nice phase out there. Steve's still going to stick around and do some of the site tour days and things like that, but you'll no longer see Dave in the future vlogs.
Bye, Dave.
I miss you, Dave. How was skiing? Did you enjoy it? Did you like my video?
Loved it. I saw it yesterday. Love the snowboarding video.
And she sung it.
Karaoke?
No, not really.
I heard you do one. What did you do? What's that?
No, I didn't.
Walking away.
No, I didn't do karaoke. I know. Did you see Stuart's though? Stuart, right. Cue Stuart's karaoke.
But I've been told that salvation.
Isn't he good at karaoke? Like that guy is just
Surprise, yeah.
mate, Stuart is just a charmer, mate. Absolute charmer. And make sure you subscribe to the Ground Up Podcast, man. Me, Dorian, Stuart, and Jack Jiggins, we get together every week and we talk about all things property and business. So go subscribe, Ground Up Podcast. And also, after the staff meeting, just got on a call with an investor and we secured another buy-to-let client who wants to do 3-4 projects with us a year. Perfect. Guys, thank you for watching. We are just checking on this 6-bed HMO. It's in the last knockings now. It is slightly delayed, so we're just trying to to figure out exactly the last bits that need to be done. And I'm just coming here to sense check as well to make sure the site manager reporting is actually what's happening. And it is. It's mostly decorations, a little bit of electrics, bit of joinery, and some groundworks in the rear yard, just a box back in the new soil pipe that we've put into the new chamber. So not much needs to be done. This will be finished soon. And look, if you're an investor and you want to add HMOs, buy-to-lets, or get into property development, then we offer that as a turnkey hands-off service. We're not perfect. We have problems, but we address those problems. We fix our mistakes, and we always deliver projects for the contracted price. Doesn't mean there aren't sometimes delays like this one. But anyway, big love. Thank you for watching, and see you next one.